The Atlantic bubble is now well and truly burst. New Brunswick is the latest province to pull out. It did so as of midnight last night, meaning visitors from any province, including all of those now in Atlantic Canada, must isolate for 14 days when they arrive. Brett Ruskin is on the story for us again. He is in Halifax, right there in Nova Scotia. The bubble was pierced. Now, Brett, it is popped.
It is popped. Indeed, it was good while it lasted, wasn't it? Because, keep in mind, Atlantic Canadians, we could move freely province to province without, under the relative safety of the Atlantic bubble for months. Keep in mind, the bubble meant that anyone from elsewhere in Canada, elsewhere from around the world coming to Atlantic Canada had to stay inside in their home or in a residence, someplace isolated for 14 days to reduce the chance of spreading the virus. So, this policy was never designed or anticipated to be airtight. So as those COVID case counts climbed, eventually the provinces began to back out. Prince Edward Island and Newfoundland and Labrador earlier in the week, and then New Brunswick as of midnight last night, as of today, essentially. And so those provinces basically formed their own bubbles around themselves. So if you go there from anywhere, you have to self-isolate for 14 days. That policy still applies there, just with smaller individual bubbles. Technically, Nova Scotia is still in its own bubble, in the original bubble, and hasn't shut down, hasn't left the bubble. So if you are coming from New Brunswick, coming from Prince Edward Island, coming from Newfoundland to Nova Scotia, technically you don't have to self-isolate. However, for days, officials in all of these provinces have been cautioning and warning and requesting that people not travel province to province unless it's absolutely essential. Heather.
So Nova Scotia now stands alone. What does that mean for travel into that province, and what is specifically happening where you are, Brett, interested in the Halifax story?
Yeah, so in Halifax here, it's a little bit different. Things have changed a little bit in the last, 24, 48 hours, because officials are telling people not to leave Halifax and go elsewhere in the province, and not to come to Halifax if you're elsewhere in the province as well. And so taking a look, that's because most of the cases in this province are centered here in the Halifax area. And so health officials are hoping that if they can get a hold of Halifax, basically get things under control here, that they can, spare and save the rest of the province from experiencing those high case counts as well. So the directive is for people in Halifax to stay here. And if you're not in Halifax currently, don't come here to shop, don't come here to visit. You can come here if you have hospital appointments or things like that. But otherwise, that is the current strategy here in the province of Nova Scotia to deal with COVID.
All right, Scott, appreciate that. Thank you very much. Brett Ruskin live in Halifax for us.